The A330's landing gear, the butter machine. Every aircraft has a signature. Some are known for their power and their glamour in the sky, some for their silence and comfortable passenger experience. The Boeing 747 is the queen of the skies, the 787 the Dreamliner. Every nickname is a title, a reflection of what each aircraft represents. And then there's one whose name doesn't speak of royalty or dreams, but of real touch. A name born from the way it kisses rather than meets the runway. The butter machine. The Airbus A330. A widebody so balanced, so forgiving on landing, that it's earned a reputation for making touchdowns feel like silk. But that smoothness isn't luck. It's engineering art combined with piloting skill. More than a century ago, in 1906, Alberto Santos Dumont achieved a takeoff, sustained flight, and landing on wheels without catapults, rails, or external help. His fragile 14 rolled forward on two main wheels and a small tail assembly, a humble beginning to what would one day become one of aviation's most intricate and graceful systems, the landing gear. From those trembling wheels in Paris to the smooth touch of an A330 at dusk, the principle has remained the same to meet the Earth with elegance and control. Hidden beneath the wings lies one of the most elegant mechanical ballets in modern aviation, the A330's main landing gear. When the pilot selects gear down, two great assemblies extend from the belly of the aircraft, one under each wing, built by Safran Landing Systems. Each main gear carries a four-wheel bogie, an oleo-pneumatic shock absorber filled with oil and nitrogen, and a series of linkages that seem almost alive when in motion. But there's a problem to solve: how to fit this giant mechanism into a narrow fuselage bay. Airbus engineers answered with something beautifully clever, a shortening mechanism that compresses the gear during retraction. As the leg swings inward, a linkage pulls the shock absorber into itself, shrinking the gear just enough to tuck neatly into the aircraft's body, a compact masterpiece of geometry and motion. But the real magic lies in a small hydraulic component called the bogie pitch trimming actuator. Think of it as the gear's invisible hand, one that fine-tunes how the wheels meet the runway. On landing, it helps the bogie beam settle into the correct position and dampens any oscillation, allowing the rear wheels to touch down first. It's called the trailing condition. Instead of a single hard impact, the landing load is spread gradually soft, progressive, almost musical. The result? That signature A330 touchdown, what pilots call a butter landing. And on takeoff, the same actuator angles the bogie beam so that the rear wheels stay firmly on the ground as the aircraft rotates to a steep attitude. It lets the front wheels lift off first, leaving the rear ones to support the aircraft until the very last moment. That small difference, just a few degrees, gives the aircraft a better rotation angle, more lift, and precious protection from a tail strike. It's a subtle but vital contribution to both safety and grace. When the gear finally retracts, the pitch trimmer returns the bogie to a level position, and the shortening mechanism completes the fold. Everything happens in perfect sequence, hydraulically driven, electrically controlled by the landing gear control and interface units, two computers that alternate duties, cycle after cycle, like dancers taking turns in a performance. Behind them, the green hydraulic system provides the muscle pressurizing actuators, operating doors, and steering systems, all under the watch of the brake and steering control unit, which listens to the pilot's handwheel inputs and translates them into movement. And if all power is lost, or the system fails, gravity takes over. Free fall extension, the simplest backup in the most complex of machines. The A330's smooth landings aren't just a comfort thing. They're a reflection of its design philosophy, a harmony between mechanics, aerodynamics, and flight control. The trailing link bogie softens contact. The flexible wings absorb shock, and the fly-by-wire system lets pilots manage the flare with almost surgical precision. Together, they transform tons of metal into an experience so gentle that passengers barely notice they've arrived. To them, it feels like silk. To pilots, it feels like trust. And to engineers, it's poetry in motion. The next time you fly on an A330 and feel that whisper of a landing, remember that beneath you, dozens of hydraulic pistons, sensors, and linkages have performed a perfect symphony, balancing strength and softness, power and poise, and letting the machine dance. Goodbye for now, and until the next episode, keep your landings buttered.